Morning. Call tonight's council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Staggers?
Present.
Anderson?
Here.
Benega?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Costello?
Here.
Jamison?
Here.
Knutson? Here. Litz?
Here. We have a quorum present. Tonight will be led in the invocation by Reverend Timothy Fountain from Good Shepherd Episcopal Church in Sioux Falls. After the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, so I'd ask everyone to please rise.
Let us pray. Thank you, gracious God of all seasons, for the beauty of the fresh snow falling. Thank you for all those who work in our city and all of its departments, those who keep us warm, those who clear the roads, those who see to so much of our safety and our comfort. We ask your blessing on all of them, especially those who will be working on the holidays. We pray your refreshment on all those who will be having breaks, all those who teach and all who learn in our schools. And we ask you to bless this meeting tonight, to bless our mayor and city council, to bless their work to the good of every neighborhood in this community, and that your Spirit's voice may be heard where there is perplexity, and your light shine where there is darkness. We pray this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move. Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconds. Further comments, further motions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. The consent agenda has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, Litz.
Litz moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further motions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the regular agenda, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
That motion prevails 8-0. Regular agenda has been approved. This is the time we set aside a period for 5 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the council, we just ask that you give your name, and if anybody wishes to address at this time, come forward, please.
It's Tim Stanger. I'm hoping that everybody read the Tuesday paper about the extra penny sales tax. 73.4% of the people said no. So I'm thinking that we got to go back to the drawing board to figure out how we're going to finance the event center. It's not saying that nobody wants it. They want it financed a lot different. Another question I have, and I asked Pat about if we do have the event center, is there something in the contract on the event center that states that so much of the products have to come out of Sioux Falls or South Dakota? And then do we have to hire so many people from Sioux Falls to work on that project? The only reason I ask is because of the 41st Street Bridge that we gave to a out-of-state bidder, stating that on that contract, is there any stipulations from the out-of-state contractor to hire people from Sioux Falls, or are they going to bring their own people in from Iowa to do the job? I guess what I look at is if we have a job in South Dakota that has to be done, or in Sioux Falls that has to be done, maybe we should look at maybe wording something like that. If we're going to bid out, on the bids, it should say that you got to have so much product come out of Sioux Falls or South Dakota, and you got to hire so many people from South Dakota to work on that project, or from Sioux Falls. I'd like to see that done, because unemployment, there's people unemployed in Sioux Falls, and they need jobs, and if we're going to take a bid from Iowa to come and do the 41st Street Bridge, we want to make sure that we're going to hire people from out of the state to work on the project. So I'd appreciate it if you guys think about that when you do bid out stuff.
Mr. Mayor, if I might respond, just, as far as the event center goes, that it's way premature. I mean,
Yep.
obviously, there are no contracts even contemplated at this point.
Which
It's all
is understandable.
conceptual.
Just something to think about.
You bet. And I think what you're referring to is like I think it's the Buy Iowa program that the state of Iowa has done regarding that, the proposed casino on the
Well,
northwest part.
the
But
thing is, I don't care if it's a Buy Iowa, but I'm trying to sell Sioux Falls.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is, I'm city attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think there are specific bid laws that we have to require, or that we're required to follow, and we could certainly explore those opportunities, but I think there's no games that can be played in those. It's pretty much a state
Correct.
law.
But if there's something that's got to be changed that maybe the city council, the state has to change, maybe that's something we should look at.
Yep,
That's the only
absolutely.
reason I'm bringing it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Others that wish to address the council for 5 minutes, give your name, please. Then we, go ahead.
Jim, I think I'd just like to make one comment. My understanding is all the steel that's being put into that bridge on 41st Street has been done here, will be done here locally. So all the material that you're talking about is already been awarded. It might be through a general contractor in Iowa, but the steel is being manufactured locally.
Others that wish to address the council, period of 5 minutes. Seeing no one come forward, we will move into the regular agenda, item number 4.
Transfer of a 2009 retail liquor license from Dakota Cuisine, Inc., Ruby Tuesday, 3308 East 10th Street, to Howell and Howell, Inc., Holiday Inn Express, to be operated at 2501 South Shirley Avenue, including Sunday sales, with a special use permit 2009-10-15 being considered on 12/2/09. 5, transfer of a 2009 retail liquor license from Porter Apple Company B, Inc., Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, 108 South Minnesota Avenue, to Soft Egg, Inc., Whisk and Chop, to be operated at 108 South Minnesota Avenue, including Sunday sales, with a conditional use permit 2005-09-13 being approved on 10/5/05. Number 6, special one-day liquor license request for SMG to be operated at the Orpheum Theater, 315 North Phillips Avenue, for wedding receptions on January 9th, June 4th, and June 26th, 2010. 7, special one-day liquor license request for Washington Pavilion Management, Inc., Washington Pavilion of Arts and Science, 301 South Main Avenue, to be held on January 5th, 2010, for Navira McKinnon reception, and on August 6th, 2010, for a wedding reception. 8, various retail liquor, packaged liquor, and retail wine license renewals for 2010 to be operated at various locations in the city of Sioux Falls, identified as Exhibit C.
Thank you, Jamie. Lori Hogstead with the City Attorney's Office for items 4 through 8. Item 8 are the renewals, so I thought we would start with 4 through 7 and see if we have any questions on 4 through 7.
And let's do that, and then let's take that by itself, and then we'll come to 8, if that's okay with the council members. Any questions on 4 through 7? Any others that wish to address the council on item 4 through 7? Is there council discussion or action?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jamison seconds. Further comments? Not all in favor of the motion to approve items 4 through 7? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 4 through 7 has been approved 8-0. Now let's go to 8. Lori.
All right, and item 8 is the various retail liquor, packaged liquor, and retail wine renewals for 2010, and this would be our last batch. First of all, I will go through a couple of stipulations on the list. Under retail liquor for 4900 Building LLC, the Oaks Hotel, 3300 West Russell Street, that would be pending final inspection per Fire, Health, and Building Services. And then under retail wine for Royal Financial LLC, Winners Circle Casino. That has not been given an address, but it is at the northwest corner of Madison and Marion, and that would also be pending final inspection per Fire, Health, and Building Services. Also on this list, under packaged liquor, we have those businesses that have had underage sales in the past year. We have, first of all, Tina Elamihu, Inc., for the 6th Street Market, 400 Northwest Avenue. And they also had an underage sale in 2007, so one in '07 and one in 2009. Bakes Liquors, Inc., for Bakes Liquors, 3406 South Marion Road, one in 2009. Lambos, Inc., for Lambos at 3501 West 49th Street, one in 2009. Taylor Oil Company, Pro Shop Liquors, 3300 South Minnesota Avenue, one in 2009. And Van Hansel, Inc., for TC's Mini Mart, 5503 North Cliff Avenue. That should be one in 2006 and one in 2009. I apologize if your agendas show 2008. That is not one of the dates. So it should just be 2006 and 2009. The management plans are part of your agenda, the security management plans, which were approved by Officer Greg Schmidt of the Police Department. We also have Lieutenant Haney here from the Police Department if you have specific questions on the stings or any of the procedures with the Police Department. And as well, we have the applicants present tonight if you wish to ask any of them questions or talk to any of the applicants about the underage sales situation.
Questions of Lori on item number 8? Others that wish to address the council on item number 8? Not, is it council discussion or action?
I got a question on the 6th Street Market here, 400 Northwest Avenue.
Right.
Were they the owners both those years, 2007 and 9?
Yes,
Or was-
they would be, otherwise they wouldn't have been on this list, yes.
What have we done at this point to work with them, since that's about 2 blocks away from a school?
Well, we would have to ask the police department that. And the applicant, I will tell you, the applicant, Tina, or Mike as he's known as, he is out of the country. We do have a representative here from the store that is filling in for Mike if you have questions for her, but possibly we could talk to Lieutenant Haney first, if you'd like.
Please.
Steve Haney, Lieutenant, City of Sioux Falls.
Sir, I guess what I'm concerned about is we have a business within a couple blocks of a school that's got underage violations, multiples. Are we doing anything special with this business to try to make sure we don't have any more? Or?
We are not. Our procedures are is we run 25 to 30 businesses per month, and we try to hit each business twice a year. So I know that Officer Greg Schmidt has reviewed their security and their proposal and everything, and he agreed with it. But specifically working with them on future plans, we have not.
Further questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Officer, is there a picture of the person who is attempting to make the sales available that
There is.
the public could see?
That was the individual that made the purchase in December of '07. And I'm sorry for the quality of this photograph, but this is the individual that made the purchase in '09. These individuals are 18 years of age.
It says under 21 right on the license there.
It does.
Was that presented or wasn't even asked for?
The was not requested.
Thank you, sir.
Further questions? Item number 8.
Lori, is there anything we can do to require maybe some training or, anything to help these businesses, or?
I don't know specifically that we can require it, but we highly recommend when they come in and apply for new licensing that they go through the TAM, Techniques and Alcohol Management Training. And I know Officer Schmidt also talks to the applicants about that, and he can also give that training now. He's been certified. So it is something we talk to them about numerous times, but it's, as the business owner, it's up to them to take that action to schedule their training and so on.
Further questions? Item number 8. Is there Motion?
Move for approval?
Move for approval by Jamison. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 8 has been approved 8-0. Item number 9.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by adding one property to Section 39-82A, providing for rural service district lands.
Good evening, Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. This is a request to add an additional 20 acres of land to the list of properties that we have categorized as rural service districts. This is a program that we offer landowners that wish to annex large tracts of vacant or agricultural land into the city and allow them to remain undeveloped for a period of time. In working with the counties, by putting them in this category, it requires, or I should say, it allows the county and the city to tax this vacant land at the same levy that it would be prior to the annexation. This property is about 20 acres, and it's located on the north side of Skunk Creek and the west side of Interstate 29. It is vacant.
Questions of Mike on item number 9? Others that wish to address the council on item number 9? Not. Is there a motion?
Move to approve, Litz.
I second the motion.
Knutson
Knutson.
seconds. Further comments on the motion? I see none, so all in favor vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 9 has been approved 8-0. Item 10.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by amending Appendix B zoning ordinance regarding campgrounds and camping units.
This is a proposal to amend our zoning ordinance. Essentially, what we're doing is we're rewriting the conditional use permit standards for locations of campgrounds in the city limits. This is an item that has been in process for quite some time. We've been working with not only the campground owners, but also with the City Council Land Use Committee. An earlier version of this did go through the City Planning Commission with a recommendation for approval, and subsequent to that, we've had meetings with the Land Use Committee as well as the landowners to come to an agreement on this latest draft that is being recommended at second reading tonight. And we believe that this helps simplify the requirements for placement of campgrounds as well as helping to address existing conditions within the current operations in the city limits.
Questions of Mike on item number 10? Others that wish to address the council on item number 10? None.
Dwayne Spader, 5417 North Indiana Avenue, Sioux Falls, representing Sioux Falls KOA. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Councilman Staggers and the Land Use Committee for the work that they did on the campgrounds. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the staff for the work that they did to develop an ordinance that's simply going to allow a campground to be a campground. I know there was a lot on this, but we was fighting for survival, so I'd like to thank both parties, and I think the end result is going to allow the campgrounds to be campgrounds and hopefully survive.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it. Others that wish to address the council on item number 10? Not? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Benega.
Benega seconds. Further comments? Not. All in favor of the motion to approve item 10, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 10 has been approved 8-0. Item 11.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Annexation 2009-1103, South Dakota Highway 11 and 26th Street right-of-way.
Tonight, we have 3 resolutions being presented to you by staff that will be adding right-of-way into the city limits. This particular item, we've been working with the South Dakota DOT on looking at expanding the right-of-way as part of Highway 11, and this will expand the right-of-way to the west side of the center line of Highway 11, extending from 26th Street approximately 3/8 of a mile to the south, and this will incorporate the balance of the right-of-way into the Sioux Falls city limits. It's approximately 3 acres of land area.
Questions of Mike on item number 11? Others that wish to address the council on item number 11? If not,
I move for approval of item number 11, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further comments on the motion? I see none, so all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz? Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 12.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Annexation 2009-1102, Potter House Road and 6th Street, right-of-way.
This is a petition that will expand the right-of-way along Powderhouse Road from Arrowhead Parkway extending north to East 6th Street. This will include the balance of the right-of-way within the Sioux Falls city limits so that we can move forward with making additional improvements along this corridor. The city will be working on street improvements up in this area, and this will eventually be part of the South Dakota 100 East Side corridor.
Questions of Mike on item number 12? Others that wish to address the council on item number 12? Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. All in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 12 has been approved 8-0. Item 13.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Annexation 2009-1101, Sertoma Avenue, right-of-way.
This is also a request by city staff to bring in the balance of the Sertoma Avenue right-of-way, extending from 41st Street south approximately 1/2 mile.
Questions of Mike on item number 13? Others that wish to address the council on item 13? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Move for approval, Jamison, a second.
Second, Litz.
Let's second it. Further comments? See none, all in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 13 has been approved 8-0. Item 14.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving the Pettigrew Heights Neighborhood Redevelopment Plan.
Good evening, Erica Beck with the City Planning Office. With me this evening to assist in presentation of this plan is Russ Sorensen, urban planner who specializes in neighborhood services within our office. He's been very involved in the drafting of this plan and with the neighborhood overall and can assist in answering any questions that you might have. Also, Mike Cooper from our office is available to answer questions. And after the presentation is completed, I believe there are several members of the neighborhood committee within the audience that would like to mention a few things as well. I know that many of you are very familiar with the background with regard to this neighborhood, so we're going to focus solely on the presentation of the neighborhood plan this evening. Basically, the plan in front of you is a revitalization plan that identifies goals and designates redevelopment areas within the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. The plan was drafted in a coordinated effort by the neighborhood committee along with planning staff. Approving the plan per South Dakota Codified Law, Chapter 11-7, provides an opportunity in the future to study and research the benefits of implementing a single-family tax reduction program within the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. Your resolution specifically addresses the requirements of South Dakota Chapter 11-7 and identification of Pettigrew Heights as a redevelopment neighborhood. We have been working with the City Attorney's Office for a couple of months now to ensure that we have met all the requirements within that South Dakota codified law. As I stated earlier, the intent of designating the neighborhood as a redevelopment neighborhood is to have an opportunity again in the future to research single-family tax reductions as an incentive within the specific neighborhood. I wanted to take just a moment here to talk a little bit about the public input that has gone into the plan. As many of you are aware, the Pettigrew Heights Neighborhood Committee has been actively meeting for several years now, and usually on a monthly basis. During those meetings, this plan has been discussed several times with the goal being to draft a specific plan for the neighborhood that identifies goals and implementation strategies that the neighborhood can really take pride and ownership within, and implementing those goals and implementation strategies within the next 3 to 5 year period. In June of this year, as a result of several successful input-gathering neighborhood meetings, an open house was held at the Bowdoin Youth Center gym within the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. At that meeting, we had approximately 25 to 28 people in attendance, and we also had people that were not able to come that did share comments with us via written response. On August 5th, we brought this plan to the City Planning Commission, where it was approved. And then on September 21st, the plan was reviewed and approved also by the Sioux Falls Housing and Redevelopment Commission. In order to provide you with a little bit more detail into the plan, I wanted to kind of go through the bullet points that the neighborhood had identified for their vision of the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. Basically, their vision of the plan is to promote the appropriate redevelopment opportunities and suitable green space within the neighborhood, encourage mixed-use redevelopment between 10th and 12th Streets and commercial redevelopment along Minnesota Avenue, revitalize identified existing rental units into owner-occupied residence and promote the construction of additional clean and safe affordable housing, promote new and appropriate economic development incentives, and ensure a prosperous, safe, attractive, and well-maintained destination with easy access to clean and safe affordable housing and neighborhood services. The goals and implementation strategies of the plan are listed in pretty extensive detail within the document. And if you have any specific questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. But I'm just going to go through quickly here what the actual goals focus on, the topics within this plan. Neighborhood identification, land use, parks and recreation, transportation, safety, and housing, which all turned out to be very important factors when we discussed this plan with the neighborhood. Earlier, I indicated that in order to define this plan, the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood, as a redevelopment neighborhood pursuant to South Dakota codified law, the City Council must find that the requirements within the plan had been met. The map shown on the slide above depicts the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood within the yellow boundary, along with all the sites identified for redevelopment. Some of those sites within that boundary map are already areas that are being redeveloped, and some of those are areas that the neighborhood felt could be redeveloped in the future. Our office supports the Neighborhood Committee's vision for redevelopment within the neighborhood, and we find that the map above represents and is consistent with the requirements set forth by South Dakota codified law. The redevelopment plan specifically identifies measurable outcomes that we want to make sure are addressed within the plan and are addressed within the next time frame for reevaluation of the plan. They are overall neighborhood growth, a decrease in crime statistics within the neighborhood, a decrease in code enforcement-related complaints within the neighborhood, an increase in affordable housing and in owner-occupied housing, and an increase in rehabilitation of historic properties. Also, an increase in redevelopment between 10th Street and 12th Streets and along Minnesota Avenue, as well as an increased neighborhood quality of life through the continued development of city nonprofit organizations and neighborhood partnership services, which we've really been able to focus on within the last year. Lastly, in conclusion, the implementation of this plan will help define Pettigrew Heights as a prosperous, safe, attractive, and well-maintained destination with easy access to clean and safe affordable housing and neighborhood services. It will also help decrease the prevalence of blight due to crime and dilapidated housing, and ensure that these objectives are met by readdressing this redevelopment plan within a 3 to 5 year time period or as needed. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and then also to remind you that there are several members of the Pettigrew Heights Neighborhood Committee in the audience that would be happy to speak on this as well.
Questions?
Thank you.
Yes, Erica, in taking a look here at this 73-page document, I noticed that there's the use of guidelines and suggestions and so forth, but there is one paragraph. If you could respond to this one paragraph. Sure. The neighborhood has drafted guidelines for future development within the neighborhood. Although following the guidelines is not currently mandatory, they should be reviewed and incorporated by those proposing development within the neighborhood. Okay, not currently mandated. That's good. But are we anticipating of having a lot of mandates in the future?
I believe the paragraph that you're referring to is specifically talking about the neighborhood design charrette that was held in early 2008, in which we had an architectural firm donate their services basically to the neighborhood. The neighborhood came in, they talked a lot about, and actually there's a picture up on this slide of the outcome of that, but they talked a lot about the different types of aesthetics that they would like to see incorporated into any future redevelopment projects. And one of those main focus areas that they would like to see encouraged within new redevelopment projects was the addition of green space, landscaping, something that would really set apart their neighborhood from other neighborhoods within the community. We don't have any plans at this time to mandate any of those options. We just provided them in here as a comment from the neighborhood.
Yeah, because I wish that phrase was out of there. But are there any places in the document where there are mandates, where, on developers or anything?
Nope, not in this document.
Good. Also, too, with the tax abatement program that the City Council passed in May of 2007, how many people have applied for that? It deals with businesses.
It does. We do have a tax reduction program already in place for our core neighborhoods, and it is for commercial residential, which is 4 units or above, or commercial. And actually, one of the reasons why we're trying to move forward with this redevelopment plan is because within the past couple of years, we've only had one building permit issued within this neighborhood. So we really haven't had anyone apply for that tax reduction program. I think we did have one application this year.
Okay. Was that eventually approved, or?
I don't know that for sure. I think
okay.
it was forwarded to the county, but I do not have information on whether or not it was approved yet.
Also, too, there was a survey that was done of the residents. How many people responded to the survey?
We actually distributed those during our first annual cleanup within the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. We distributed over 1,100 surveys, and we had about 150 people respond, and those were residences, and we probably had another 15 to 20 respond that were specifically businesses.
Okay. The St. Joseph Housing, I guess it's St. Joseph Housing Authority? If I got their name correct.
I'm sorry?
The St. Joseph, I think, Housing Authority.
The Housing Project?
Housing Project, yes. We've been waiting a long time to finally conclude this. Last spring, we were hoping it would be done. Then in September, we hoped it would be done. And now, the latest I've heard is going to be this coming spring. Can you give us any further updates on what's going on there?
That's correct. We were actually supporting the project moving forward this past year in April, but due to some funding situations with South Dakota Housing, the project was only awarded partial funding, which means that they will receive the rest of their funding this April in 2010, and then the project will move forward as planned.
Okay. So around April is when we'll probably sign an agreement with them formally, or?
Right. We have an agreement signed with them already to move forward with the project as soon as the additional funding is received by that group.
Okay. And then also, too, in regard to the land that we're going to be selling to the St. Joseph Housing, there's this paragraph on page 22, and it talks about the city acquiring this. It's at the top of the page. And it's the second complete sentence there.
It says, "At the time the city acquired the 11 residential properties, the structures were vacant. Thus, there was no need for temporary relocation of families, and no families were displaced." I guess I'm kind of surprised by that statement, because just before those houses were closed down and boarded up, I was talking to a couple of people that lived there. They didn't know where they were going to go at all. Can you explain, these people were obviously being displaced.
Right. When the city
Yeah.
purchased
Okay.
those structures, they
Okay.
were vacant.
Okay.
And we offered several nonprofit organizations in terms of contact information to the property owners and the landlords of those properties so that we could work with them in terms of getting them relocated.
Okay.
That's where that statement
So
comes
the
from.
landowner's the one that actually said, "Hey, you got to leave," and then
Correct.
after that, then we purchased the property.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Erica, can you speak at all to the results in terms of reduced crime in the neighborhood?
Yeah, the crime rates have actually dropped considerably. The last, I think for November of 2008 versus November of 2009, it was decreased by about 17 calls. There are still calls within the neighborhood, of course, but we are seeing a consistent monthly drop from previous years. And we want to continue to work with the police department to make sure that we can target those specific properties that do have an increase in calls and a majority of the calls within the neighborhood, to see if we can do something with the landlords or the owners of the property, to make sure that they, first of all, know what's going on, and second of all, we can help them do whatever they can to decrease those calls.
It looks like code enforcement issues are declining as well.
That's correct. Yeah, if you look at the chart that's included in the plan, it increases dramatically in 2006 when these efforts first started, and then it's steadily decreased since that time, and we would like to see that number drop even more.
Thanks, Erica.
Further questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, just one other quick question, Eric. I'm looking at a picture here of the Pettigrew Heights townhomes.
Yep.
Have they been able to sell those, or what's the latest?
Those townhomes are actually rental townhomes.
Oh, they're rental, okay.
And I believe that all but one is occupied.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Erica, you mentioned that we may consider in the future single-family tax reduction. Is that like the property tax abatement program we have, or is it what mechanics would that be?
Correct. It's exactly the same. But by South Dakota state law, you have to have a redevelopment plan in place before you can move forward with researching and basically implementing that within your community. It's just like our other tax reduction programs. It has a minimum assessed valuation that you have to increase your property value by before you would be eligible to do that. We do have a little bit of information on it based on other counties within the state that have that program. Pennington County, for instance, does. But we haven't gone to the extent that we've put together anything for the council's consideration, and we would like to be able to work with you in the future just to research it and see whether or not it's feasible for this neighborhood.
What else needs to be completed other than this plan to make that happen?
An ordinance that would allow for single-family tax reduction within this neighborhood.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 14?
Jim Schmidt, Executive Director of the Sioux Empire Housing Partnership. I'm here to talk about two different items I'd like to address the council on. Councilman Staggers, we do have those townhouses, which are now called condominiums. They are rented, 4 of them, as Erica has said. We're pleased to say that they are rented to young people. There are 3 first-time, right out of college people that have jobs downtown Sioux Falls, and there's 1 couple, I think, that are attending the seminary. So what you see is what you'd hope for is housing that would be able to have people go downtown. That was the first one in the Pettigrew area, I think, and I think the partnership is very happy to have been part of that, to kind of lead that spearhead. The other thing I want to talk about for the Pettigrew thing is the Housing Resource Center, which some of you may or may not know about, but it is a joint venture between the city, the Volunteers of America, and the Sioux Empire Housing Partnership. And I want to commend a couple of your employees, Erica Beck and Russ Sorensen, for their dedication and their leadership on making that possible. I think Russ has spent an enormous amount of hours. We meet every week at the Bowdoin Youth Center where we have our offices located. And not to belabor all of this, but we've had a series of workshops that have been available for all the residents of Pettigrew Heights. And these workshops have dealt with from weather revitalization, from the ICAP services on how to improve their insulation, to on property management, on how to improve your particular home via the cosmetics of it all. And we will continue to offer those. It's volunteered by people from the community to come in, and we're open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These workshops have been held in the evening. And I think, like any other thing, when you first start out, you really don't get the numbers that you would anticipate. But once I think that people find out, and many of them have, and we've gotten several cards back, so we will continue that next year. And this has all been made available by a grant from Citibank, which was the original seed money. And the other thing two other things I want to mention. This Pettigrew Resource Center is a very marketable and packaged situation. So once it's been established there, it certainly can be taken to any neighborhood in Sioux Falls. I think that Russ, or Mr. Sorensen, has told me that Whittier has had considerable interest in this as well. And I think it's something that can help a self-help kind of situation for a neighborhood. There are several other things that have come about. We've been able to work with Habitat for Humanity, and they have a program they call Brush with Kindness. And what that calls for is they will come in and paint houses. And it's income sensitive or driven, but also we made allowances for that. So they can come in and they can, free of charge, paint somebody's house. They can clean up their yard and several other things. Mr. Sorensen and I, better known to me as Russ, we've worked with the Home Builders Association. And the home builders used to have one program a year, I think, Bob, where they had one program where they would come in and fix up something. So we've convinced them to come in and do multiple projects to help the residents or homeowners in there replace doors, windows, porches, et cetera, and help them with the cost of that. So a homeowner really has an opportunity to spruce up their house. And lately we've been in contact with Dr. Tom Killian with Sioux Falls Beautiful that wants to talk about putting aesthetics for gardens and flower beds and things like that. So all of those may be very small items, but when you start putting a small item together, it's like outside, you got a few snowflakes falling, and before that's done, there's going to be, we look like Washington, D.C. Anyway, I think that the Housing Resource Center is something that you all can be very proud of, and you wait and see the numbers next year. So, thank you very much.
Questions of Jim? Thank you, Jim. Others that wish to address the council on item number 14?
Good evening. John Hart, Volunteers of America, Dakotas. Only take a minute, but I wanted to say kudos to the planning staff and to you folks, too, for what we have seen happening in the Pettigrew Heights area. Volunteers of America has been a property owner in Pettigrew Heights for over a decade now. In fact, we have 3 properties. And in fact, we were so encouraged of late in what we were seeing happening in the Pettigrew Heights area when we were looking for a location to build an apartment complex, safe, affordable housing for the women and children that have completed our New Start program and are needing a safe place to be to get their life back on track. It was Pettigrew Heights that we chose as a location for that. So if you drive by the corner of 12th and Summit, you'll see a new structure rising up out of the ground. That will be a new beginning for a lot of these women and their families. And it's Pettigrew Heights, I think, that will be key in that, because you have public transportation accessible, you have employment opportunities, you have educational opportunities nearby. So we truly believe that this is going to be a very vital part of the Sioux Falls community. So thank you very much for everything you've done.
Thank you. Questions? Thank you. Others that wish to address the council on item number 14? See no one coming forward. Is there,
I move for approval of item number 14, Knutson.
Knutson moves approval. Is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve? See none, so all in favor of approving item 14 will vote yes, those opposed no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 14 has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Litz.
This moves, is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jameson seconds. All in favor of adjournment, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson? Litz?
Yes.